All right. Everybody has a testimony, and I really believe at the end of your testimony is somebody else's breakthrough. Through your testimony is somebody else's breakthrough. Somebody right now currently is waiting to hear your story to know that they could do it, that you have done it. I feel like a majority of us have had some type of experience in our life that has changed our life, that has been the pivotal point where we decided either to keep going on or we decided to stay in that place right there. But each thing that we do is a choice. Everything that we do is a choice. We have the option to either accept what happened to us or go change it and make it different. My message today is don't let the cover of your book dictate the story God has given you. Don't let the cover of the book dictate the story that God has given you. Because a lot of things, if you look from the cover of the book, it's not going to tell the whole story. It's not going to tell the whole story. From the cover of my story, from a cover of a lot of people's story, we should be dead. We should be in jail. Or we should be living homeless on the streets. Yeah, it's not that great to say right now, and I don't feel good saying it, and a lot of people are probably going to judge me saying, yeah, that's right, you probably should be living like that, or you should probably be there. And that's fine, I'm okay with that. I'm perfectly okay because half the time I agree with you. But it's not till lately where I'm starting to disagree because you know what? We've learned things wrong. We have learned things wrong, and we've learned them the wrong way from the wrong people. Not just love. I've learned love the wrong way from the wrong people for a long time. But it's a lot of things in our life we have learned wrong. From the places I come from, a lot of these things that we do, that's our resume. That proves who we are, or how good we are, or how cool we are, or what we're made of. Scars are part of the resume. More scars, the better. But are they? But are they really? See, most people can't understand what we've experienced. Because a lot of times I say you can't understand the things that you have not experienced. How can you even start to understand those? I mean, maybe if somebody around you has experienced it, but still it's not you experiencing it, which is completely different. So some people can't understand what they haven't experienced, but what I'm struggling with is understanding what I have experienced. I'm having trouble understanding what I have experienced because what I'm talking about is God's grace. I can't understand God's grace. I try to understand it. I try to think of it. I try to comprehend it. But the one thing I feel like I can't understand is God's grace. I feel like people can't understand a lot of the circumstances and situations that maybe you've been through or that I've been through because you know what? They haven't been there. They haven't been down that road. That hasn't happened to them yet. Or hopefully it doesn't happen to them. It hasn't happened to them. So they don't know what you're going through. They don't know what you're doing. They don't know how you feel. They don't know how your heart feels. They don't know how you're sad. They don't know when you're happy you have nobody to share it with. They don't know those things about you. What I'm having is trouble understanding is what I have experienced. And that is God's grace. I have experienced that. And I'm not talking about the grace like you praying before you eat. I'm talking about God's grace. God's grace. God's grace. Never ending, everlasting. But why, God, would you want to help a broken person. Why would you want to help a broken person, God? He's God. You're God. Why don't you just forget about me? Create another one. There's 10 other better than me. Trust me, there's 10 other that are better than me. Why choose me, God? You're God. You're the creator. You can make any version that you want. You can make a better series. You can make a better version. You can make the brand new, top of the line, top shelf. I mean, you spoke us into existence, God. Why me? Why choose something that's broken? Why keep an old broken model when you could have a brand new, still in the box version? Why? Why would you want to use me? Why would God want to use you? This is a grace I can't understand. These are the things that I have seen and I can't understand. It's easy for me to see things and understand them, but these are the things I've seen and I can't understand. God's grace. When I was at my most broken points, God told me how to learn how to love. Learn how to love. Really, God? You want to tell me how to learn how to love? It's like telling me I need a Band-Aid for a broken heart. It's telling me I need a Band-Aid for a broken heart. But as a dad, I get it. As a dad, I get it. The grace, I get it. I get it. I'm starting to understand because as I look at it, as a dad, I start to get it. I start to understand it. Daniel had heart surgery at 6 weeks. There's a point I had to ask myself how I wanted to love him. Was he going to survive? Should I harden my heart to protect myself? Should I not love him? But to tell you the truth, I love him. And because of the circumstances and the things that we went through, I love him even more. I love him even more. His scars on his body, I love. His attitude, I love. His successes, I love. And sometimes I love him even more because I know, A, that I've almost lost him, but then also at the same time, I know what he's gone through and what he has to do to still be here. He's had to overcome and he's had to achieve. And for some reason, I love him that much more because of it. So when I start asking myself, how can God have this grace? And this is a thing I can't understand because we keep messing up over and over and we keep doing the wrong things and we keep doing these things that are just, in my opinion, and for a lot of us, unforgivable. But then God gives us grace. God gives us grace. God didn't give us his son so you would be perfect, so you would become a perfect person, so you would think that you could become a perfect person. He gave us the son because he already knew. He already knew our failures. He already knew our faults. He already knew what we would do. He already knew everything. He already knew everything you don't want people to know. The hurt, the heartbreak, the problems with your kids, the struggles, the divorce, the sadness, the loneliness. He already knew. He already knew it all. God already knows it all. God already knew. But the truth is, the cover is not the story, because God already knew. The cover is not the story. The cover is not the story. With me, the book was already written. I judge my book by my cover. With me, my book was already written. I judge my book by my cover. I already knew how it ended. I already knew how it ended. But when I was broken, hurt, down, and falling apart, I found God. Actually, God came to me and found me. I didn't go find God. I called on him and came to me. And he found me. I told God, look at this book. It's already written. This book, it's already written. Look at it. Look at this cover. The book's already written. He said, open it up. So I told him, God, this book's already written. Look at it. Look at the cover. It's already written. We already know how it ends. He said, open it up. And as I opened it up, it was blank. It was blank. Then he said, look in my book. He said, look in my book. He said, look in my book. It's already written. So I told him, look at my book. It's already written. God, look at the cover. It's already over. But then he told me to open my book. And as I opened my book, it was blank. As I opened my book, it was blank. But he said, look in my book. God said, look in my book. It is written. It is written. Ooh. The crazy thing is, my book was blank, allowing me to create my own story. Because of his grace, my book was blank, allowing me to write my own story. But he provided me with his word that was already written. So when I'm writing my story, I have that guidance. I have that roadmap. I know how I want my story to go this time. It's not already written. It's not already written. His word is written. My story is still a blank page. My story is still a blank page. That is grace. That is grace. That is grace. See, my cover was created by me and published by others' opinions. My cover was created by me and published by others' opinions. Published by others' opinions. Published by others' opinions. But my story, not my cover, but my story was given by God and protected by the Holy Spirit. That's right. My story was given by God and protected by the Holy Spirit. So when I tell you that somebody's breakthroughs on the other side of your testimony, what is your testimony? What is your story? Not what is your cover, because if I judge a book by a cover, the story's already over. But what's your story say? What is your story?